It is our Wednesday mini magic lesson this week so that I can deliver to you some mentoring, some guidance, some intuitive insight into how to more fully step into your power in your life, in your business, and truly start loving what you're doing every single day, because that's really the goal, isn't it? You're not here to just play small, you're here to play big. So let's get into it. Now, today's topic is actually inspired by one of our members who shared a question with the group. And it was actually so powerful, I reposted it for everyone to see, the question and the answer. And I want to go deeper into it today. Have you ever thought, and this might happen on the conscious or the subconscious or come through in journaling or something like that, but you've got this thought, you have this feeling that I haven't quite proven myself yet, that I don't quite deserve it yet. And when we think about, what is it? Your dream, your business, the amount of clients you want, the amount of income you want, the type of house and lifestyle you want. If there is a part of you that is struggling or conflicted with, do I deserve it? Have I proven enough that I have what it takes? That I've done enough study, that I've done enough work, that I'm going to really, really make the most of this situation? This conversation is for you. Now, the exact question, and I will read it to you because it is just awesome. Her question: what advice do you have to allow myself to feel more deserving of an experience? So I just want you to apply that to your life right now. Where are you not feeling deserving? And apply this advice to you. How can you allow yourself to feel more deserving? Now, there is so many contextual things when it comes to this, because you are unique and your journey is unique. And I want you to take this advice and apply it to your life. But if you want specific help, I want you to ask me questions in the comments, okay? If there is something really unique to your circumstance and you're like, well, this is happening, how do I deal with it? Drop the comment below. So what advice I gave there was, I literally was like, this isn't a mental exercise, because when it comes to deservingness and feeling worthy and feeling enough, as I've experienced through my journey as well, you can't just journal it. It's not an equation, and someone can't just give you the answer. However, when we allow our emotions, our intuition, our soul to guide us, it's so much more powerful. So I actually opened up to the universe and I was like, for this person, I nearly said your name, for this person, I'm just asking, what is in this moment the best advice that I can provide with my experience in my life, with my experience with my clients, but also through that intuitive channel. So this is what came through. I said, I sit here and I ask my guides, what's going to be the best answer for you? And I hear very, very clearly, all of us are born worthy of our most audacious dreams. I'm going to read that again. All of us, all of you are worthy of your most audacious dreams. You're born that way. And that statement in and of itself is powerful, because we go through life thinking, I need to prove that I can have this. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's a certain level of health, whether that's certain clothes or, things in your home, whether that's your business. We have been trained to be like this, by the way. We have been trained. You've been taught to prove yourself, to prove your worthiness, to, put in the effort and then see if you're deserving of the reward. And I just want to disconnect that, tear it up into little pieces, write it down on paper if you need to, rip it up and throw it away, because you were born worthy of your most audacious dreams. And that is a belief, that is some thought work, that is an affirmation that I invite you to integrate and actually work on believing. Because if you don't believe at the core of it that what you desire and what you want and the impact you can create on the world and in your life is something you can have, you're constantly going to be internally conflicted. And that internal conflict isn't just going to make you feel bad, it's going to hold you back in every single area of your life, because that core little piece is rotten. And we're going to pull that out and chuck it out. So do that little write down, release, tear it up ritual if you need to. Very, very handy. So moving through life, we can lose sight of this. When I was really thinking about starting my business, there was a part of me that's like, you have fucked up so many times in your life, in so many areas, in so many ways. You don't deserve to live happily ever after. And that was like so rough, but I believed it. I was like, replaying in I had this highlight reel of all the shitty things I've ever done to people at work, when I've slacked off, when I didn't try, when I made mistakes and it was my fault. I literally had evidence for why I didn't deserve the things I desired. And when it came to dreaming about my business, dreaming about helping people through tarot, through intuition, through coaching, through my art, it felt like bullshit. Because it's like, yeah, you can dream, but you don't get to have it. And it was devastating to me until I did this work, until I realized these things, that point blank, from the day dot that I was born, I was worthy of it. And not only of that, if you can dream it, you have the capacity to achieve it. You just need to get out of your own way. So that was super powerful for me. And even if we're conditioned for this, just like anything that is learned, we can unlearn it, we can learn something new. So the 2 pieces of advice I gave this beautiful member in Ditch the Doubt, beyond, I think, that awareness that for me is just the biggest mindset shift ever, is 2 journaling prompts. And you can, sit and reflect in this. You might journal it out. You might want to have a conversation with someone or think it through on paper. But here are 2 questions. And I'll also pop them actually up into the description part of this post. 1. And if you're watching the replay, just pause it and write it down now. What would I do? What would I need to do to feel deserving of all the greatness I want? And I ask that question first because this is the part of you that's going to tap into that programming. If you've been running on this program and this conditioning of you need to deserve it, you need to do something before you're worthy of that dream, that goal, that business, that reality, well, unpack it. Okay, if that was true, what would I need to do? What would be the task, the accomplishment, the certificate, the level of experience that I would need to gain, that I would need to do in order to be deserving? And as you unpack that, I'm just already envisioning that you're either going to see that it's something you've already done, it's something that is either, within reach, so you just go out and do it, or when you see it on paper, you'll realize that that's actually bullshit. That's probably what's going to happen there. You're going to be like, yeah, but if I did that thing, like all the other things I've done in my life, it wouldn't actually change anything if I haven't changed this. So I want you to answer that question simply to put into perspective that either it's something you've already achieved and therefore it hasn't mattered, or something that even if you achieved in the future, because you're very capable, that it's not actually going to change the circumstances unless these internal circumstances have changed. Hi, Rochelle. Yeah, there you go. My website I keep putting off. Let's just zoom forward to when you have your website, complete for phase 1. I always believe in working in phases. Nothing's ever done. It's just that phase is complete. So let's zoom forward. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month's time. Your website, last little thing. Yep, good to go. It's where I wanted it to be. Is that actually going to flip a switch in your head? Or, shout out to the universe, okay, I'm deserving, I'm ready now. Send me all the goodies and I'm just going to happily receive it. Being a little bit, silly there, a little bit sarcastic, because that isn't the reality, is it? So when we sort of set ourselves up to, I need to earn it, I need to prove it, I need to deserve it, we know really intuitively that doing those things aren't the things that make us worthy. And if that's the case, what do we do next? Here's the second question. And like I said, I'll pop these up into the description later as well. So we debunked the first one. You don't need to prove it. So number 2, what would happen if, let's get curious, what would happen if I believed I was already deserving? And allow that question to carry you and to expand you and to guide you. What would happen if I believed I was already deserving? You might get like a manual that pops out of your head. You're like, I would do this. This would happen. This would change. I'd be inspired to act, think, do. I would release the guilt, the shame, the weight, the expectation, and simply be present and be enthusiastic and be joyful in what I'm doing. So what would happen if I believed, if you believed you were already deserving? Two big questions, right? The first one, debunking that low-level insidious programming that says you need to earn it. And the second one, allowing you to explore and be curious and expand into, okay, what would happen if? What would happen if? And I want you to lean into that today, throughout the rest of the day, actually. How would you walk through the day differently if you held that core belief? And it needs to be conscious at the start. You're not just going to flip that switch in your head and now that's my belief. You need to integrate it. You need to welcome it in. You need to practice it. But if you walked through the rest of the day being like, I believe that I'm already deserving of all the things I want, how would you show up differently? That's like a third little bonus question. I'm very curious. What landed with you today? Was it the question itself that just made you feel seen and heard? Maybe it was those two questions that sparked something in you, that made you sit up and say, I'm going to do that. I'm going to give myself that gift of awareness. I'm going to listen to Nikki because, what she was saying was resonating with me on all levels. And after you've done those questions and after you've done that work, I want you to share with me in the comments here if you have a share, an aha, or a question. I want to know what's going on for you. It's so interesting when we sort of let ourselves relax a little bit when it comes to our lives, and it's not about pressure, it's not about pushing, it's not about forcing. It's about how can I move through this life and feel soul-led and satisfied and happy along the way, that things can truly shift, that things can truly, truly shift. Thank you to everyone who was live. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to see you all in the group. I'm going to see you all in the comments. Have a beautiful, magical day.